Sam1174 has done an excellent video about how to remove the front shock from XK8. So I'll just fast forward this part, and if you want to see the details, I'd suggest that you have a look on Sam's video. I'll put the link in the description field. The only difference is between XKR and XK8 is that cat system and the wire which I disconnected. But apart from that, the procedure is pretty much the same. It's fairly easy thing to do. You can do it by yourself, as you can see. Here I'm wondering why the shock is stuck, it does not come down. Until I realized that there is another nut under those hoses hiding. So after removing that nut, everything came down quite nicely. The shock assembly is a bit heavy, so it's a bit tricky, but as said, you can do it by yourself. Doing this first time, so fiddling around quite a lot. So here's the shock and the spring assembly. And here's the new bush which is going in, nice and clean. And here's the old bush which is completely dead, as you can see. This is the 30mm socket which I will use to press out the old bush and also to press in the new bush. It fits quite nicely, so it's actually perfect fit for this job. The other socket is 41mm socket, which I just happened to had a bit of a good luck here. It's almost perfect. It does not align completely well, but it aligns well enough so you can press out the bush into that socket. And by the way, remember to grease or lube those threads, because the bush is quite tight in there. At first I really had to use quite a lot of force to make it came out. I kind of well, at first I didn't believe that I could do it, that it would be that tight, but eventually it came out. You just have to push hard enough. Now I'm having a look that everything is okay. And now you can see that it's going in nicely. So there you go, there's the old bush. Before pressing the new bush in, I had to remove this rubber sealing or whatever. This was quite tricky, and I don't know if this is the proper way to do it. I haven't done this ever before, but at least it worked for me. You just have to be very careful that you don't break the rubber sealing. I had to remove it because otherwise I couldn't press it in. The 30mm socket would press the rubber sealing, and eventually it would broke it, so have to remove it. A bit tricky, but it comes out. Just take it easy and carefully. And slow, very slow and careful. I'm wondering if there's a tool for this, but I've never seen anything like that. Also, I haven't seen anyone doing this kind of bush replacement in YouTube, so that is well, that was one reason why I decided to make this video. So here it goes. You just take it out. It comes out quite easily when you have removed those springs. And as you can see now, the 30mm socket will fit in quite nicely. Then I cleaned up so there won't be anything away when I press the new bush in. That was just some brake cleaning stuff. And finally I added some lube, just regular oil. So here the bush has been in the fridge overnight, 18 degrees below 0 Celsius. So it'll shrink a bit, and hopefully it will go in a bit easier. And that's what it did. It went in quite easily. It was easier to press in than to press out the old one. And please note on the left side that black tube and thing, that's from a tool set which I'll put in the description field as well what tool set these parts came from. The 41mm socket was not, I think I could have done it with that, but as I said, it was not aligning completely well, so I decided to use this part of that tool instead. So this works perfectly for me, and as you can see, it goes in quite nicely. I'll put a marking on the side with a pen so I can see how much I have to press it in order to have it on center, so it's not either side too much, you know. So here it is, all pressed in. Then finally I had to apply this rubber sealing again. And again this was a bit tricky because I didn't want to break the seal, and the spring or whatever those red things are, they are quite stiff, so you have to be really careful when you put them back in so you don't scratch anything or like. But eventually, after a lot of fiddling and wondering and cursing, I managed to put it back. And at least to me, it went pretty well, I think. I'm happy with the result. As said before, probably many times, this is the first time when I did anything like this. probably gonna say this again on many other videos which I plan to make, that Jaguar XKR sure requires some maintenance, and it seems to keep me quite occupied. So definitely there are more videos coming in as I work out things. But meanwhile, fighting with this one. Slowly and steadily. Just go, guy. It'll go there. Just careful. And with some help from the tools in right places. Almost there. Almost. It's not quite yet there, but eventually it'll come together. This is a bit long, but I decided not to cut it, so you can see that it takes some time to make it properly. And then I just added the smaller one. With the help of pliers, I think. This went in quite well. After the second try, the first one just snap. So here it goes. Push it. So here it is, finally. Then what's left? Just put the shock back in. I'll just leave the rest of the video here if you want to see how the shock is put back in place. I think I'll have a beer while watching me. To put it back, I suggest that you do the same. Goodbye, over and out.